What is the craziest story about a small lawyer outsmarting a corporate giant? I started work in the 90s on the shop floor of a pipe making factory, but made a few friends in the office. So one year at our end of year party, I overheard a story from the corporate lawyer who was retiring. Someone asked what his most memorable case was. This guy was gray hair, gray skin, gray clothing, gray manners. Nothing distinctive about him at all. In fact, at the annual company party, known for drinking, this guy was always sober, but not that night. He was a contracts lawyer. Never tried a case, just proof contracts all day. So we made pipe, plastic pipe, water supply, sewer, electrical, and telecommunications duct. We were the second biggest in the market and would swap contracts with the biggest manufacturer as we both bid on supplying the big players in the markets. In our jurisdiction, we had a government communication department which got sold off and became what we'll call Big Telco in the story. One day, a new international company entered our market and started undercutting Big Telco. Let's call them OK Telco. So as things go, we lost the Big Telco contract, but picked up the OK Telco contract, which was bigger as they had to establish an entire network from scratch. One day, Mr. Gray and his boss were called to a meeting with Big Telco. When they arrived, they were ambushed by Big Telco's lawyers, expensive, aggressive attorneys who threatened to sue us for using telecom green pipes for OK Telco. They demanded we sign a contract on the spot, giving Big Telco exclusive rights to that color. If we refused, they'd get a court order to stop our production, which could ruin us, while lawyers cleared it with a judge to let us make other types of pipe. Mr. Gray looked over the contract and told the boss to sign as they could tie us up in knots due to their huge size and budget. While the contract just made it clear that this green was the exclusive property of Big Telco and could only make it for Big Telco, we folded like a shirt. Inside, life went on with us making OK Telco at that green pipe. A few months later, Mr. Gray went to a 20-year reunion from his law school. Guess who was there? Mr. Big Shit telling everyone about how great a lawyer he is and how he can push around anyone due to how great he is, and definitely not due to his huge budget. An army of $5 a word flesh-eating attack lawyers. Mr. Gray is pissed. Mr. Gray binds his time and pores over the contract. A few years later, Big Telco had to have a name change due to how much bad press they have from shifty service and practices, and as a way to avoid debts. Under the old name, they change everything. Storefronts, letterheads, everything. They are now New Old Telco. Contracts come and go. The other big pipe company gets the contract from New Old Telco to make pipe. Mr. Gray strikes other pipe company. A New Old Telco gets served with cease and desist orders about making and using green pipe. Big Shit lawyer is puzzled and angry that this has happened and calls Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray arranges a meeting and then hangs up on Big Shit mid-threat. Big Shit turns up with his $5 a word flesh-eating attack lawyers to seat just Mr. Gray in the boardroom. No ambush, no backup, just him. Mr. Gray lets him vent his spleen about how they're going to gut the company and Mr. Gray will never work in law again. Then Mr. Gray takes out a packet of papers and a highlighter, makes a few strokes and pushes it to the closest $5 a word flesh-eating attack lawyer. They read what he had highlighted and screwed up their face. This was repeated as the papers were passed to the Big Shit lawyer. I'm no lawyer and this was about 30 years ago, so I can only paraphrase what Mr. Gray said he had highlighted. Only our pipe company in conjunction with Big Telco can make and or use this green pipe exclusively, with no substitutes, parent or child companies, successors, or blah blah blah. Since there were only two companies listed on the contract, they were the only two sets of people who could decide the fate of this green pipe. Big Shit said that they could claim ownership of the pipe color since they were in effect just a rebranded Big Telco. Mr. Gray pointed out that that admission would cause all their avoided deaths to come home with interest, along with an admission of guilt in trying to pervert the course of justice. Big Shit then claimed that they inherited the ownership. Mr. Gray cut him off with a no child company clause. Big Shit went on for a while being blocked by Mr. Gray at every turn, and at the end even his $5 a word flesh-eating attack lawyers were jumping in to shut him down because he was exposing them to risks greater than any of them were willing to be a part of, especially since they had made the contract as airtight as they could to screw us. As they were leaving, Mr. Gray said two things. This was an unfair fight. All of you versus me. Next time, bring more and smarter lawyers. And since we now effectively control this green, here's a document making the color public domain. We don't want